This is inspired by the life advice of Ryan Reynolds. If you put too much value on your life, you won't make it out safe. That makes a lot of sense. You won't get out of this situation alive. So, you might as well have fun. I was supposed to go to college in Los Angeles at that time. I moved there without my parents. I was supposed to go to a university in British Columbia, Canada. But after 45 minutes, I chose not to stay and left. I moved to Los Angeles because I wanted to work in improv theater. Just the other day, I had the idea that I would go do this thing. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, fine. In that case, I'll go back to school to get a degree. And then I'll go into the job. I called them up and said, "Hey, I'm in Los Angeles. You probably know that already." But my dad finally came around. I ran out of money in the end. So all I did was ask that service to meet with me. After I did that, I called maybe 10 other agencies. And finally, I got a job with a small agency. I don't care what they are or what they are for. You sent me to 5 interviews and said, "I promise you'll bring back one." Somehow, I got the 4th one. You sent me to 5 auditions and I don't care what they were for or what they were for. I promise you'll bring back one. I was offered a part in a show, which is probably still the best job I've ever had because the money keeps coming in. You should know that the average length of a comedy is between 6 and 8 months, and the longest it can last is a year. I mean, when the season is over, you can do anything you want. Oh, it was great because I was able to journey all over the world with just a backpack. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and the notification bell to stay updated on our daily videos. I was able to sort of put together everything that had happened in my life because I've seen so many people come and go from this field. I'm glad the pace was more like a snail's than a rocket ship. I'm glad it was slow and steady because I've seen a lot of people in this field come and go. That it's kind of like getting into a bath over the course of a year. You're not going to be shocked by the water, whether it's cold or hot. You're just going to be immersed in a way that's really, really slow. Most people aren't really offered that. Everything is all or nothing in Hollywood. So, they've ever seen or you're done. I found that I was lucky and I was able to find a weird middle ground where I could build my business slowly. When you were about 5 or 6 years old and thought about what you wanted to do with the rest of your life, did you always see yourself as an actor? Or did you think about doing something else? I always thought I'd go into law enforcement like my family, so it's hard for me to imagine that playing was a way to get away from home. I mean, that's how I was taught to do things. When I was younger, it wasn't something that really interested me. I was already making people laugh at home, to make a living. So you probably noticed when I was a kid that it was a great way to protect myself. I was already doing what she asked. It was a means to an end. It was just a way to get out of the house, and I knew I could play, even though I didn't really want to. It really helped me figure out how to get around in my own house. It was just a way to get out of the house. I did it pretty well while I was still in high school, but I never did anything to celebrate because I always tried to keep as much privacy for myself as possible. When I was a senior in high school, I noticed that I was happy when no one paid attention to me. I just wanted to get through that show and move on with my life. I thought I could get away with it because a lot of what I did was in the US, but not necessarily shown in Canada. I am the youngest of 4 brothers. My father's brother and my own brother both went on to become police officers. You are the youngest of 4 kids. So, you have to use your brains to stay alive. This is the only way. You can't use your arms. It was more like a moving target than a younger brother. So, yeah, it's kind of a dirty house. Kind of. Okay, a lot of the information is very helpful. So thank you very much for giving it. Now, we are all pretty close to each other. You start to worry a lot about how you're going to live, which makes you more aware of everything around you. As a result, my 3 older brothers were especially macho, and rough housing was always funny for them. But It seemed like a life-threatening situation to me as a child. I'm aware that this played a big role in the different paths we took in life, especially in show business and similar fields. I always know that this was one reason why I chose to work in the entertainment business. I could constantly copy people or watch them and look for subtle signs that they were dangerous. It was a hard task. Even though these things are hard, it took me a long time to see them as strengths instead of weaknesses. It was a lot of stress, and I had to deal with a lot of different fears and problems. And, these things also come with gifts. And it's the same kind of situation where you become very aware of how both of these things have helped me in my work. And, some of these things also come with gifts. What is the most important thing you've learned about running a business in the film and acting industries? I like the idea that I think any effort should be a group effort. I think you should always listen and ask for help. The most important thing I've learned is that the best leaders are the ones who hire the most talented people for their teams. Things that are kind of, new and different get my heart racing. I am amazed by smart people. I can't get enough of anything that piques my interest. I'm not like a guide who can help you with things like looking at the stock market, rolling the dice, and other similar things because I don't know what they are. I would say that I am the kind of person who has found a few things in life that they believe in with every single cell of their body. And this is one of those things. A few years ago, when I ran to the New York Marathon, there was money for the Michael J. Fox Foundation to use for a Parkinson's disease study. Some of the people I work with find it almost annoying to always think about their future and what's important to their family. Anyone who has done this will tell you the same thing. I put it ahead of everything else. Why was that move important to you? My grandpa had Parkinson's disease. He died a few years ago, but he was a very proud man, which you may already know. I mean, he might have told me a couple of times that he has Parkinson's, and I think he is a brave man. The guy, doesn't talk about feelings, pushed them down, and kind of takes away his strength. He was strong. Before he became a police officer, he was a boxer. I think a big part of his identity was that he was a very strong man. So it made him reevaluate all of those things, which is good in a way. But in the end, that loss of self and not knowing where you stand in any given moment is pretty hard. That's it for today. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up below, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We post videos every week, so stay notified. Thanks for tuning in. See you in the next videos.